Hey everyone, it is Jay Soloff from Investors Alley, and this is our options trade of the week. So we are here at marketchameleon.com, once again looking at the unusual options volume page. And like to look at this sort of activity and see where the action is on a particular day. Options reflect a lot of the action that goes on in the stock market, so it definitely carries over to options. In some case, in some cases, it's actually the stock is driven by the options activity. So I like to sort this by volume first off to see where some of the bigger players were doing, and then I'll look for interesting stuff. You can also scan by calls and puts here. Typically, when you're dealing with unusual activity, if there's a lot of call activity, it's usually bullish. If there's a lot of put activity, it's usually bearish. Doesn't always have to be the case, but usually when you're seeing lopsided events like this, 87 to 13, and it's a lot higher than normal, usually that means this is bullish activity. And sure enough, if you look over here, you can see that's 14% up in the stock. So we're going to look at Datadog here. Traded almost 5 times the normal activity, so quite a bit more, over 100,000 options. Definitely looks to be more on the bullish side. Now the stock wasn't up huge today, but it was yesterday. They had this is the second day. They announced a really big deal with Microsoft. So obviously, when you're a software company, Datadog does cloud software and infrastructure management type stuff. And when you have a deal like that with a big player like Microsoft, obviously that can make your company. Obviously a really big deal for investors, and the stock went way up. So we look at the trades in Datadog to see what was going on. Once again, sort by quantity, see what some of the bigger trades were. Now, when you see smaller quantities, like you'll see 20,000, 10,000 options trade, sometimes 1,000, 5,000. That stuff is usually institutional. When you get down to these levels, these could be some big individual traders or some small funds trading. So I mean, this does not look like necessarily a lot of institutional activity, but still, potentially some pretty big, some pretty big players trading. I mean, when you're dealing with, $100,000, $50,000 in notional, obviously you're not a tiny trader doing those sort of things. So it still can be, interesting to see what people are doing. It looks like we're getting some definite call buying. Like here, this is next week's expiration. The 100 call with the stock at 100. Someone bought for $4, meaning they expect it to go above 104. The stock already closed at 103.50. So already this is a winner. I mean, this, because it doesn't expire for a week, this thing's probably already, that option's probably already worth like $6 or something. We'll take a look at it momentarily, but that's probably a short-term play there. Maybe even this one here is a 105 call expiring tomorrow. So on Friday, this one could be a one-day play, or this might be closing a position. It's hard to say when the expiration is that week. Looking at some of these puts here, also, this one is a pretty heavy bullish trade. Looks like someone sold almost 200 of the 80 puts in November for 255. So they're sort of expecting that the stock's not going to drop below 80, and they're collecting quite a bit of premium for about 50 days of the stock not dropping below 80. So that again is a pretty bullish trade. So I was mentioning these 4 calls that were traded in the morning, and let's see where they are at the end of the day. That can be interesting to see sometimes. So first off, here's Datadog. You can see yesterday was the big announcement, went all the way up to 108. Came back down today, was volatile again, closed at 103.50. So let's look. So we were looking at the October 9th, 100 calls. So at the end of the day, yep, I was right there. They're almost $6 here. A little bit under $5.50. So they bought that at 4, so they could already cash out, whoever made this trade, or they can hold to see if it's going to go higher. You can see tons of volume in these strikes today. If you wanted to purchase that, it's as simple as just buying the calls. That's pretty expensive, and now they're in the money. So you could turn it into a spread. Maybe sell the 110s here, and now you have a total closer to $4, a little over $4, with the upside potential of around 6 if it goes all the way to 110. So different ways to handle that, but pretty interesting to see. Looks like a lot of short-term bets on the stock, just trading higher in the short term. So we do calls and puts purchases in Option Floor Trader Pro. It's my basic service. You can check it out. There should be a link to it on this site. Take it easy.